Hello everybody, this is Mr. Hagen here, and I have a tutorial here on how to composite images in Affinity Photo using masks. And it may seem like a complex thing when you see these multiple photos that are sort of combined or composited together, but it's actually really a simple thing and it can be done in just a few clicks. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I've got my photo that I'm using here. I actually got it on Unsplash, which is this little section here in Affinity Photo. It's just pretty clever. It's pretty cool. You can see this is the photo that I'm using, and it's actually by a photographer named Travis Squire. So this is a really nice shot. I'm going to be using this as my demo, and I need another image as well. So I already have one that I have in my layers. It's right here. It's hidden right now, but I'm going to turn that on. And there it is. It's a really nice landscape. And I want to make sure that my move tool is selected over here, this arrow. It is now selected, so now I can move that around. And what you want to try to do for this effect where you're compositing images together, you don't want to just arbitrarily dump the image and then add the mask and try to blend them together. You want to, I think ultimately, at least in my mind, I'd like to try to have some relationship between the images. So, does it line up with the edge of the eye or the nose, perhaps? That's kind of interesting. Maybe we want to just obscure the whole top of the head. I don't know. Or perhaps we rotate it and maybe do something like this. Maybe make it a little bit larger. So maybe the whole back of the head gets taken up by this photo. Maybe something like that. That could be kind of interesting. I'm actually going to bring it over a little bit. So that's what I'm going to go with, I think. I'm going to try that out. And now the next thing I do is make a mask. So as you can see, these are actually masks that I have already tried out over on the right hand side. So the way that these are all just hidden so you can't see them. There's no check mark there. So the way that you add a mask is you go up to this plus sign, you click it. It's now giving you all these options. I want to do mask layer. And now the next step is to make sure, I'm going to make sure that you are on your mask layer, and I am. You can tell that the mask layer is selected because it's a lighter gray. And my next move is to go over to my paintbrush, and I'm going to click on the paintbrush. When you click on the paintbrush, you get all your tool options down here. And for this particular effect, I like to have a very large paintbrush. So something like that. And also, I like to have the hardness at 0. So what that's doing is it's giving me a very soft edged brush. And now, actually one last thing, you want to have your color set to black. And it might seem counterintuitive, but when you have a mask layer, the color black will hide. So now that we have our brush selected, we can actually start painting, and you can see what's happening here. We want to get rid of that hard edge. This might actually be too small of a brush. Yeah, I think I might actually go larger. Yeah, okay. I go a little bit on the top there. If you make a mistake, the nice thing about the mask, one of the best things about the mask, like let's say I did that and I didn't like it. I don't mind it, but what you can do is you go over to your color here, down below, click on that, and then select white, and then my brush went really small. There we go. Now that you have white selected, oh, it went to my eraser. That's why it went small. My color is white, and now I can start to paint back in, which is really nice. right now you'll notice that it's getting kind of blurry right here. You could increase the hardness and probably bring that size of the brush down, and then just to get a little bit harder of an edge there. That's not too bad. That's kind of interesting. Not 100% happy with the top here because we have that hard-edged line there. So what we could potentially do, go back over to our layers, and then you don't want to click on the mask layer now because I'm going to make this image actually larger. I'm going to click that and then go to my move tool, and I'm actually going to make this a little bit bigger. There we go. I might have to do a little bit of adjusting. You can see that some of my masking has gotten screwed up a little bit, but that's okay. Oh, let's see. You know why? It's because I actually have my mask layer selected. So I'm going to actually undo that. And I'm going to make sure that I just have my, okay, no, it's doing the same thing. I think I was doing it right. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my mask, and I'm just going to kind of feather these edges just a little bit. And that's just a way of saying I'm going to clean up the edges just a little bit, make them softer. And go back to my mask layer. Okay, and paintbrush, oops, go back to black. Along the top here. Just want that to kind of fade in like that. It's kind of interesting. Kind of goes off. It looks like wings. And I'm not happy with this edge right here, so I'm going to go back to white. And then I'm going to just really do that. That's not too bad. And you can finesse this, but this is basically, you know, how you do it. This is basically, you know, you're just using a mask, couple of tools, paintbrush, and just some refinements down here, and you can make something that looks pretty dynamic. If you wanted to add a third element, I've got something here already ready to go. I have it's an airplane, and I actually put a mask on it already. So I basically did the same steps as I had done with this this background here of the landscape. This is not necessary. I mean, but I don't think this picture is stronger with this airplane in it, especially right now with the colors. But let's say you did want to add a third element. And let's say you want to really select around sort of the edges. You didn't want any of this background whatsoever. What you could do is you can use a selection tool, and it's a little bit different. You don't have any selection tools right here. You have to go up to this new, it's called a persona. You click on that, and now on the left hand side you get all these different options available to you. So I'm going to go to the Smart Selection brush, and I'm going to make sure that I have the right layer selected. I actually don't want the mask selected for this. I want the airplane. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit. United Airlines here, and there we go. And I have my Smart Selection brush selected, and I'm going to just try to select around the airplane. And you can see I'm just kind of painting in here what I want. And my brush is pretty small. I'm gonna make that quite a bit bigger so I can go faster. Okay, and it's grabbing the whole plane too. So that's actually not what I want, but this is a good learning experience here. What I could do is just grab the whole thing. I'm actually going to go to subtract, and I'm going to make my brush quite a bit smaller. And now I'm actually going to paint the plane. And there we go. All right, it's getting way more than I need. and I'm not even going to grab all of it. I just wanted to show you. Let's see, I'm going to make my brush a little bit smaller. Go back to add. Just wanted to show you this cool thing. If I hit down here, if I hit refine edge, watch what happens here. It does a pretty good job of refining the edge of the plane, and I'm going to continue to paint in the area that I want, which is the tail here. I'm not even doing a great job here at all, but look at that. It does a really nice job of sort of estimating or guessing what I wanted to select. Wow, that looks pretty good. Grab that, grab the windows and the back of the plane here. And I don't want this area right here. Oh, actually missed the engine here. Grab that. You don't have to be very careful. You can just paint right over, go right over the edges, and it will kind of snap to your selection. So I'm going to go to, what do I want to do here? Yeah, you can kind of toggle through here and you can see where it is, what's been selected. So I'm going to go to selection. I'm actually going to apply this. I don't need this stuff in the background, but I've got enough of the plane that I can work with that. So there we go. And now what I could do is I could go back to my layer, go to my mask layer, and I could paint. I want to make sure that I go back to this persona. This is the photo persona. And now I can go to my paintbrush and I can paint. I'm going to use black because I'm going to hide all the blue here. And I'm going to be on my mask layer. And now, look at that. I can just go right up to the edge. I want to be careful down the back here because I did not do a great job of grabbing that stuff. But you can get a pretty close there. And I can deselect. Here we go. I'm going to zoom out. There's the airplane. Okay. And let's see, turn that off. I could certainly clean this up for a better effect, but I could put this somewhere else. And you know what I could also do? I didn't talk about this yet, but layer modes. If we go here, let me just back up for a second here. Right up here, let's say I want to make this plane blend in a little bit better very easily. I'm going to take this, this layer right here. I'm going to go to this circle with the 3 dots here. These are my layer options, and I'm going to cycle through here. Just here it says normal. I'm just going to kind of cycle through. Obviously some of these are going to be better than others. That's kind of interesting. Lighten, that's kind of interesting too. Screen, color dodge, add. I'm a big fan of multiply. I like, overlay works pretty well too. Soft light, hard light, that's kind of interesting. And you know, you might need to play around with, you know, the location of things, maybe the size of things. Maybe this plane is quite a bit bigger. Maybe it's showing up right underneath his eye. That's kind of interesting. You know, so I don't think we've hit vivid light. That's kind of interesting. That's kind of nice. Linear light, pin light, hard mix. There's a lot of choices here. Subtract, hue. Some are better than others. Luminosity is pretty nice. That's pretty cool. I think we're going to stay there. There's a couple of nice diagonals that are being accentuated here. You've got the rock formation here and then the plane. I'm not sure if this is the right place for the plane, but you know, it's a nice thing about digital art. You can really have like unlimited sort of options here. It's a plus and a minus because you just sometimes it makes it hard to know when the project is done. But I thought I'd just show you this. This is a couple of different things you can do with composited images, and I hope it was helpful.